In this week's video, I'm going to show you how to make a Swedish saffron bun called Lussebullar or Lussekatter. They are lightly sweetened wheat buns flavored with saffron, and there are 9 different traditional ways to shape them. I learned the shaping techniques from this book by Magnus Nilsson, who used to be the head chef of the Michelin star restaurant Fäviken. I highly recommend this book if you're interested in Nordic cuisine. It's very in-depth and detailed. These buns are eaten in Sweden on December 13th to celebrate St. Lucy's Day. The eldest daughter of the house gets up while it is still dark out and, wearing a white robe with a red sash and a crown of candles on her head, delivers saffron buns to her parents in bed. The reason for this celebration dates back to the Middle Ages, when southern Sweden was going through a terrible famine. Saint Lucy, a Roman Christian martyr from the 3rd century, appeared to the people of Sweden on a ship surrounded by light, bringing them wheat that ended their famine. The candle crown represents the light that she was found in on that day on the ship, but also, according to legend, St. Lucy would deliver food to the Christians in the catacombs in Rome, wearing a candle crown on her head to leave her hands free for carrying supplies and food. Make sure you stick to the end of the video so you can see how my family celebrated St. Lucy's Day yesterday. So let's get started, and I'll show you how to make this iconic Swedish saffron bun. For this recipe, you will need 750 grams of bread flour, 500 milliliters of whole milk, a handful of raisins that have been soaked in warm water for about an hour, 125 grams of sugar, 18 grams of active dry yeast or 50 grams fresh yeast if you have access to that, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg at room temperature, 150 grams softened, unsalted butter, and 2 grams of saffron soaked in 2 tablespoons of vodka for at least an hour, preferably overnight. Start by heating 500 milliliters of milk in a saucepan together with 150 grams of unsalted butter. Heat gently just until butter is melted. Pour into a bowl to cool down. You should let the milk cool down to just above room temperature. Next, strain the saffron mixture into a bowl. Pour the saffron extract into the milk mixture. Be really careful not to spill or splatter this. Saffron stains things very easily. As you can see, my pinky finger turned yellow. Now stir in 18 grams of active dry yeast. Let the mixture sit for 5 minutes or so to let the yeast bloom. It's not totally necessary to let the yeast bloom or become active, but it's recommended just to make sure you're not working with dead yeast before you start your recipe. Now pour the milk mixture into your mixer. Add in 125 grams of sugar, 1 egg, and 750 grams of bread flour. Using a dough hook, knead on medium speed for about 10 minutes or until smooth, shiny, and elastic. The dough should pull away from the sides of the bowl. If it's not and it seems too wet, add flour a tablespoon at a time until you've reached the right consistency. Now cover the bowl and let the dough rise for about 30 to 40 minutes or until doubled in size. On a lightly floured surface, punch down the dough and take a small section for shaping. Put the rest in the bowl and cover it so it doesn't dry out during shaping. This first shape is one of the iconic shapes. It's called the gulvan, which means gold wagon, carriage, or cart, depending on the translation you're looking up. Roll out 2 long pieces of dough. You'll be taking each piece of dough and making them into sort of an S shape. The spiral of each S has a raisin in the center. Then place one S over the other. The next shape is called the julvan, which means Christmas carriage or wagon. You're going to roll out 5 long pieces of dough. Spiral each piece of dough with a raisin in the center. Place each spiral very close to the other in the shape of a cross. I found this shape easier to assemble on the baking tray rather than assembling it on the cutting board and then transferring it to the tray. This third shape is called Lussekatter, which means Lucy's cat. Roll out a piece of dough and then make a cut in the center on both ends of the dough, leaving a few inches of uncut dough in the middle. Take the split ends and curl down each side to meet the dough. You may have to pinch the 2 pieces together so they don't come apart. Then poke a hole in the center and place a raisin in it. This fourth shape is another way to make a Lussekatter. This time, roll out 2 long pieces of dough. On each end, take a raisin and make a small spiral away from the center. Place the 2 pieces of dough next to each other. This 5th shape is called pojke, which means boy. Roll out a very long piece of dough. Make it into a U shape and place a raisin at the bottom of the U. Wrap the dough around itself and then pinch at the end to secure. The 6th shape is called Lucia, which means lily. Roll out a long piece of dough. Make a U shape and then place a raisin on each end and make a spiral away from the center. The 7th shape is called julgalt, which means Christmas boar. This shape is often mistakenly called Lussekatter. With a long piece of dough, make an S shape with a raisin in the center of each spiral. The 8th shape is called julkuse, which means Christmas kiss. Take 2 long pieces of dough, cross them over each other, then spiral each end towards the center with a raisin in the middle of each spiral. The 9th and final shape is called prästens hår, which means priest's hair. Roll out 3 long pieces of dough and make them similar in shape to the lilja, or lily-shaped one, nesting one inside the other. Use 6 raisins, 1 inside each spiral. Cover them and let them rise until doubled in size. Then brush them with an egg wash, 1 egg beaten with 1 tablespoon of water. Bake at 435 degrees Fahrenheit or 225 Celsius for 8 to 15 minutes. The time will be dependent on how big or small the shape is. Try to pair similar size shapes together on the same tray. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know if you give it a try. It really is a perfect breakfast bun, being that it is only lightly sweet. As always, let me know if there are any European recipes that you'd like to see me make in the future. Please like and share this video to help my channel grow, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and hit that little bell notification so that you never miss a video. I'll see you next time.